which is to impose this violent, intolerant, brutal ideology upon the entire world. And so no matter who wins, unfortunately, Israel wins. And if it looks as if, the United States is going to fall out of Israel's grasp as a result of Trump being elected, then you will see things like 9/11 happening that will make 9/11 look like a picnic.
Mm-hmm. I see. What you said about Donald Trump was amazing because it was quite new to me, about him being against Israel, and that was amazing. But we have to go through the details to see what is behind the scenes.
Yes. Well, it's not that he's against Israel. If Trump is elected president, what he will do is he will tell Netanyahu, he'll say, look, you're going to get back on the other side of the green line.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get out of all of this business. You have your country. You're not getting any more money from us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to give you any more political support until you get back on the other side of that line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I said, Netanyahu and his people, it's not just the West Bank. It's Lebanon, it's Syria, it's Jordan, it's Iraq. It's the entire Greater Israel project, everything between the Nile and the Euphrates rivers.
Mm-hmm.
And so Benjamin Netanyahu is not going to be pushed around by anyone. And if he has to detonate a nuclear weapon in an American city in order to turn things around,
Mm-hmm.
then he has no problem with doing that. Trump, as I said, it's not that Trump is against Israel. What it is that Trump understands, and more importantly, the powerful people who are behind Trump understand that the United States is like a vehicle that is barreling down the road 100 miles an hour, and it's headed for a cliff. And if we don't put the brakes on, this country is going to become a footnote of history. And so they are there to try to pull back a little bit before this line is crossed where the United States will just cease to exist. And that really is what is behind the whole Trump phenomenon, in my opinion.
I see. Thank you, Mark. And Michael, your opinion?
Well, I think what worries the Zionist elite is that AIPAC, the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee, or Public Action Committee, cannot buy Trump, because you can't buy a New York plutocrat with $10 billion unless you're prepared to spend tens of billions of dollars. That is what has attracted many disaffected Republicans on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Cruz and Rubio, as we've said already, even though I think Marco Rubio is too far behind Cruz and Trump in the polls, because, okay, the GOP leadership want Rubio, but they also want to stop Hillary or Bernie Sanders, whoever it may be, because there are rumors that the Democratic leadership are fixing it for Clinton instead of Sanders, even though the polls show that basically they have a better chance with Sanders than they do with Clinton. But Trump, there's more to his soft Zionism as opposed to the hard Zionism of the puppets.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, there's all other dangerous elements. This is a man who, in reference to southern states in America, said Mexico are not sending their best. They're sending drug dealers, murderers, and rapists. And then he followed that up with in the same sentence with, and some, I assume, are good people. And then he has just followed this up. There was joking about Megyn Kelly's menstruation.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that one?
Yes.
And then And then what else was there? He says, I'm going to build a wall at the Mexican border, and then in the next sentence says, I won't be influenced by China. The Great Wall of China came to mind, and basically he asked the rhetorical question, when was the last time America beat Japan at anything? Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and he didn't. And basically, the people who cannot see through that rhetoric are a dangerous force when they are brought out to vote en masse, as the presidency of George W. Bush proved. As long as you have the people angry and angry at something other than the Palestinian conflict, then they're putty in your hands, and basically you can get the sheep out the vote. And basically Donald Trump is using that dangerous modus operandi, whereas the puppets are trying to keep it more moderate so that others who aren't as zealous will come out and vote for them. But basically, they're all Zionists, all the main candidates who are in serious contention. But see the Zionist control of America. It goes further than just owning the administration. It's how American society is shaped, because I've noticed Obama, who is a Zionist puppet, he's basically used divide and rule. He's used dog whistles. He's used throwing the dead cat on the table, which is a propaganda technique, and he has used wedge issues, which are basically to divide the working class. So they're not angry at you supporting Zionism. They're angry at something else, a diversion you created. And basically, it results in there are more hate crimes on natives, more hate crimes. The most hate crimes in America at the minute are against Caucasians, and there's a rise in violence against blacks at the minute. And basically, if you can just say, oh, we need to have a conversation about race, it's not my incompetent handling or my funding of Wahhabists and Zionists, it's the other people. And basically, that is, and recently there was the iconoclasm of the Dixie battle flag, and basically that was to divide people racially again. And basically, the Zionist media blew Charleston all out of proportion, whereas an African dictator who had killed 500,000 people, that got no attention. He got off without being charged with murdering 500,000 people.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Genocide,
And,
but
just
that wasn't on the news.
just
What you
for
got
a
was the
short
wedge issue.
notice, actually, maybe
And the irony
your
is
version
that
of recorded has been
Democrats
expired, and
pushed
that's
this,
why it's been on a
especially
trial
Obama,
and
and
recorded
basically
5 minutes by
the
5 minutes.
irony
Okay.
was that the Confederates
That's the problem
was
of copyright in
that
Iran.
was ruled
We have
by the Democratic
just
Party,
the
whereas the
cracks and everything
Republicans
for the software.
ruled the Union, and yet he was basically saying get rid of our old flag, and basically that angered a lot of people in the southern states, and you're wondering why the Democrats are all but one legislature from being wiped out by the Republicans there.
In America, Muslims are hated on the left as much as they are on the right. The wing, they want to go and bomb Muslim countries and kill them. The left wing, they're not as vocal with it, but they hate Islamic culture. They hate the fact that they consider it to be a repressive society. That Islamic countries don't allow gay marriage, they don't allow pornography, they don't allow their women to be abused the way that they are in the West, that they're turned into sexual objects as they are in the West. So the left-leaning types like Bernie Sanders, he won't say that Islam is a religion of violence and a religion of terror, but he and the people like